All right, how y'all doing this wonderful morning? Uh, this video is mainly for James Wiltshire, and I think it's something he has to look at. Let's go back to when, I think it was 1986-ish. Padraig Harrington was playing the old course at St Andrews in the Open, and obviously he'd either just about to win the Open or just after he'd won it, and then he won it a couple of years later. He's on the range warming up, goes through the bag, and at the end, he is hitting driver, and he's got two drivers, right? So he starts caning this driver, like, and the range is live, so it's giving you the launch and all that. It's down the middle, over 330 yards, just caned, right? He hits 5 or 6 drives like that, and maybe one drive just slightly, and I mean, like, when you say a draw, it's more like a foot, right? It draws a foot, and it goes like 340. Unbelievable, like the way he was hitting it. He was absolutely swinging out his shoes, trying to hit these drivers flat out, right? And I'm thinking, that's weird. I've never really seen him swing like that. And then he takes the other driver, because he's got the two. So this other driver, exactly the same driver, same shaft, everything, he starts hitting this. And he's hitting it 320, but it's going right of right, like on the other full planet right? And I'm like, what the? He's not swinging any differently. He's hitting it at least 120 yards right of where the first driver was going. Every single shot's going like that. I'm looking at that going, what the heck's going on here? So they stick with it, and he turns to his caddy and he says, well, that's us fixed for the course today. You know which driver's going in the bag. And of course, he's obviously worried about the 14 club thing, and the caddy goes, yep. He says, that driver you were just hitting, that's going in the bag. Padraig's, yep, absolutely. Bang. So the driver that's going 120 yards, like off the planet on the other fairway to the right, is going in the bag. And we're all looking, and tech guys are going, what the? Never said none, because, I mean, he's a man. You're not going to say anything, are you? But for that entire round, we're thinking, what's he done? And why has he done it? So it was like, a couple of days later, and he was getting interviewed by the Ken Brown from the BBC. Now, Ken must have been watching the exact same range session, and happened to say to him, we all saw that. You were caning this thing, like up the middle, like miles. But then you put the other one in the bag, it was going 120 yards right. And Padraig says that, he says, well, he says, one had hot melt in it at the back, and the other one had 57 grams of hot melt in the toe. He says, that's the one I put in the bag. He says, under the gun and under adrenaline, I over-released the club. Says, so I was making sure with that one, there was no way I could turn it over. So there you go. And watching James Wiltshire, I think he definitely needs to visit one of the tour techs and get that driver. He's caning it. But the worry with that driver is, unless he gets hot melt in the toe, he could do it himself. Just get some lead tape and barrage it onto the toe of the club. That way you can full gun it, James, and it's never going to go left on you. Also, you'll be able to hit those soft lemons that you like. Because when you were trying to hit that driver and it was going, what you wanted to do was you wanted to hit it at the end tree and cut it to the middle of the fairway, and yet you hit 4 drives out the screws that were just in the trees or blocked out with the trees because they didn't go and they didn't fade. And it's all to do with you need to get hot melt into the toe of that driver so that you are never ever going left with that driver. It's always going to go either dead straight or soft lemon fade. That's what you want. So I saw it. I thought I'll try and get this sent over to you so you can see that maybe it's something you haven't necessarily thought about or played about with. But honestly, just adjusting the face of the club with these adjustable ones to make it sit open and things like that, that's no enough. Not at your swing speed. And under the gun, under the pressure of competition, everything tenses up, whether you know it or not. Everything gets faster, twitchier. So you've got to do your best to counter all those things that you have no control over. They just happen. So it brought that story back about Padraig Harrington when I saw your video, and I didn't want to just bombard you in the comments saying, so hope you get this and hope you play well down in South Africa.